Mortal, you can't resist my deadly gaze. Wow, you look great. As good as in the tales. That's impossible. You are supposed to get rock hard. You see, that's my secret. I'm always rock hard. Is that so? People today, I'm so sick of living in historically interesting times. People born in the early 1900s turning 60. I'm tired, boss. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or this doggo will steal your corn. Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Romance of the Three Kingdoms set during the Three Kingdoms. Never ask a woman her age, a man, his salary, Bill Clinton why his cigar tastes good. Point of view. The girl you dumped is now Queen of England and the king is away. Roman Republic. Go to fight Hannibal, coward. No whale mayo. Europe when Charles II dies childless. Now it's everyone's problem. 1868 election. Let us have peace. Racism. Which message will resonate with voters? Armenia, Georgia, and Azerbaijan after World War I for some reason. John D. Rockefeller having to pay a tax rate of 79%. There is no Easter Bunny. There is no Tooth Fairy. And there is no Hanging Gardens of Babylon. When Aphrodite learns the truth of her creation. Please say psych. North Korea after banning Chinese words. Me think. Why waste time say a lot word when few word do trick. World War II ends. Hugo Boss. Died 1434. Born 1975. Welcome back. What a diss for J. Gilo. Russian engineers. Don't use enough cooling rods. Enriched uranium. Kaboom. Yes Rico. Kaboom. Witches aren't real. Witches are real, and they work with the devil and do spells. It's all in this book. Witches aren't real. Something that legitimately fascinates me is the sheer number of medieval artworks depicting giant, oftentimes murderous snails. Brazilians studying history between 1898 and 1930. China, the British Empire, opium. Promptly leave your pissed off rival's castle after accepting his surrender. Stay longer and risk assassination to bang, said rival super hot auntie. Self-proclaimed history buffs when they are asked about anything other than ancient Rome or Nazi Germany. Odysseus worrying if Penelope is still faithful to him right after having Shreks with half of the Olympus. Our new general emperor has saved us from disaster. Worship him. Support him. Kill him. Employee of the month. An exotic fruit. 18th century European. I guess we join canoes now. I killed the most Russians. Now I did. I'm limited by the population of my time. Crossbow versus longbow video. Look inside. Anti-crossbow propaganda. Some dude in 455 BC looking at the body of Aeschylus with a cracked skull laying next to a dead turtle. Independent discoverers of the Pythagorean theorem. Old Babylonian period, c 20th century BCE. Egyptian Old Kingdom, c 1800 BCE. India, c 8th century BCE. Suanthu, ancient Chinese diagram using the 3, 4, 5 right triangle to demonstrate the Pythagorean theorem. The nature of humanity is just that every so often someone accidentally invents a square plus b square is c square again. Seleucids. Pontus. What are you doing in Asia Minor? Gauls. Mind your own business. Point of view. You just won the 1965 Eurovision Song Contest. Buzz Aldrin's life before the moon landing. First Gulf War. Assemble. Plus 27 other countries. Iraq. I studied the moon. I orbited the moon. I walked on the moon. Thad Roberts. 29 years in Nepal. 5 minutes in India. Life is suffering. After the US leaves Vietnam, China launches full-scale blitz invasion on all of Vietnam's territories. I'm gonna do what's called a pro-gamer move. American historians when reading that Venezuelans and Cubans once fought for USA independence. Look, we will give you $3 million if you stay quiet about the attempted bribe and release our agent. I will accept and stay quiet if you instead give me $33 million in economic aid for Singapore. 45,000 BC. Begone, Neanderthal. Now that I've learned to recognize you, you'll never catch me off guard. 2025. A clown. Becomes president. Beats Mexico in a war. Gains multiple new states. Leaves office. Dies. You're a self-proclaimed history buff. Why you say that? You only know about ancient Rome and World War II. This is Jack the Ripper's identity solved with DNA. Sheen. This is the 7th year in a row you're shown the exact same mitochondrial DNA test results shared by millions. When Romans ruled Egypt, they forbade Egyptian lawyers from accessing Alexandria's courts because they used to laugh at Roman judges and their poor verdicts and make jokes and songs to defend political prisoners. Egyptians are twisted and bitter people with a sense of humor, said Roman poet Theocritus. You can't make a joke at court. Another perfect day in the Inca Empire. Nothing could ruin this. Hi, I'm Francisco Pizarro. Smallpox. Iraq invades Kuwait, USA. The Netherlands recognizing Belgium's independence in the Treaty of London, 1839. Leopold II plans to conquer the Netherlands, 1854. Leopold II when France doesn't support the plan. A brief history of Hawaii. Charlemagne was a Belgian. Change my mind. Your god is terrible. No, yours is. Zeus is a piece of shit. Yes. When did World War II start? September 1939. Germany invades Poland. December 1941. USA joins the war making it a true global conflict. September 1931. Japan invades China. September 1914. Hitler invades France the first time, but has to pause for 21 years before invading again. Campaign 32. Henry Clay. Let's talk better mileage. Andrew Jackson. Kill the banks. Which message will resonate with voters? Dr. Gay Hitler, renowned dentist and son of George Washington Hitler, waging total war on plaque during the 1940s in Ohio. The Virgin Robert Caro. Only 5 more decades and I'll finish my 5-volume biography of LBJ. The Chad Plutarch. Just finished my compendium of 48 different biographies of notable Greeks and Romans. Some Canadian guy waking up to a commotion on December 6, 1917. Roman Empire. Holy Roman Empire. Looking at the list of countries that didn't commit war crimes, it's blank. How do you even stop this? I mean seriously. The Macedonian phalanx, here shown in its fighting formation of 256 men, the syntagma. Sigmund Freud when a time traveler shows him how he's viewed in the 21st century. 1932 to 1938. Oh my god, Benito Senpai, I'm your biggest fan. Do you hate the Jews too? No. You degenerate ducking loser. 1939 to 1945. Mr. Adolf. I just invaded Greece to add it to our new glorious fascist Europe. You did what? Haiti and the rest of the world's history books. Haiti and Dominican Republic's history books. General Ross returning from burning the White House watching an American sharpshooter take aim. Monarchs when they draw out a losing war until the opposing monarch dies and gets succeeded by an incompetent pacifist. Europeans struggle against horseback archers for millennia. Also Europeans when they discover people across the ocean who'd never seen a horse. You Indians wanna buy a horse? Who wants to get the Soviets out of Eastern Europe? Who wants to start a horrifically unpopular war against them that would cost the lives of millions of American soldiers and turn Poland into an irradiated wasteland? These Canadians are truly kind and generous. Let's ask for more. Unfortunately the vibe is continuing to deteriorate. 1944. Adolf Hitler will never be the chairman of NATO. He's Hitler's chief of staff. 1961. Visitors to Egypt realizing that 4 of Pharaoh Ramesses' second wives are his daughters. So that's how it is in their family. Middle East when Mongols arrived. Peninsular Arabs. No grass. Soviets declaring to be anti-imperialists hating imperialism. Also the Soviets. Some dumbass kid poking his eye out with a stitching tool. A system being created allowing blind people to read effectively. Everybody, arrest this madman for high treason. Wow, the Germans have just invaded the free zone. Every French soldier under my command will fight the Nazis. The French and the British during World War I. Oh this stupid mud. It always causes the gun to jam. Meanwhile the Russians. You guys are getting guns. What most people think how Spanish-American War ended. What really happened? I'm gonna give you $20 million to duck off. This photo of Stalin with his daughter and some of his staff couldn't have aged that poorly. The photo in question. The myth of consensual nuclear war. Captain Savinsky I consent. Political officer Malnikov I consent. Executive officer Arkhipov I don't. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask? German intelligence being terrible during World War II. Let's see who this really is. Wilhelm Kanner actively trying to sabotage Germany. Doctors in 1518 trying to figure out why hundreds of people can't stop dancing. This is beyond science. A recently shot down Japanese pilot who bailed out. An angry Japanese mob mistaking him for an American. If you feel you have lost faith in humanity, just remember how these guys celebrated Christmas in the First World War. SS Commander Heydrich riding through Prague in an open-top car. 2 Czechoslovak mad lads with a bomb. France according to the French. Liberté fraternite. France according to Algerians, Haitians, Vietnamese, Cameroonians, Congolans, Malagasys. Genocide brutalite impunite. Odysseus when he is just trying to get home to his wife, but he keeps getting sent on random ass teachers. How long is this going to take? My face when I escaped from jail on the main gate without anyone stopping me because they thought I was just visiting. Feeling depressed? Without purpose? Need to reflect on your feelings? Do what men have always done. Join the French Foreign Legion. 6 people finding out that Indira Gandhi was gunned down by her Sikh bodyguards following her massacre of thousands of Sikh civilians. Russian history in a nutshell. Russian tsars and dictators. Welcome to hell, comrade. Russian civilians. When I'm in a being positively compared to what came after me, despite the fact that I caused a lot of it competition and my opponent is one of these guys. Soldiers. Okay Moses, what does God want us to do with these hostages? Moses. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Soldiers. Soviet tanks with 5 turrets. Finnish soldiers stopping them with ducking dogs. Grinding a war for hours. Everyone is dead. Why am I doing this? Next day. My god, do I love war. What would I even do in peacetime? Fellas. If your girl loves dogs, loves movie night, and loves sleeping in. That's not your girl, that's Adolf Hitler, commander of the Third Reich. Romans after 800 exhausting years. Finally, it's done. Some Greeks after just 11 years. Nice warm up, boys. A single death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic. Joseph Stalin. Genghis Khan to 11% of world population. I'm gonna do what's called a 40 statistics. Buckingham Palace. Prince Albert. Robert Peel. Greetings, Your Majesty. Good news. It seems the Prussian diplomats have agreed to join a reduction of tar. Mumbles. Your Majesty. Apologies, Lord Prime Minister. I haven't been able to sleep a good lot for the last few days. I see. Does Her Majesty the Queen has anything to do with that, sir? European powers largely ignoring a fascist military coup in Spain. George Orwell. Interesting. You know what else is interesting? Grenades. Most breakaway nations' relationships with their original country. You are wretched traitors who deserve nothing less than death. No, you are a tyrannical empire that needs to be overthrown. King George III and John Adams. We hate France, do you? Yes. The USSR producing 263,000 tons of aluminum during World War II. Britain producing 205,000 tons of aluminum during World War II. A small village in rural Quebec producing 40% of all allied aluminum, which equaled 1,400,000 tons. Republicans in Wisconsin in 1889. Making English the only language of instruction in both public and private school. German, Polish, Scandinavian communities. Why would they vote for Democrats? Violence is not the answer. The answer is, opens history book. Frantically starts flipping through pages. Oh no. No. Germany. Politely asking Mexico to invade the US. Mexican officials. Germany. Being dead serious. Battles Alexander lost. 0. Surviving copies of the Quadrant 0. Mathematical concepts invented in India. 0. I wonder how these backsliding cowards will commemorate me. It's an Usan locomotive. Roman citizens. The world is dark. We are abused by tyrannical emperors with no prospect of even advancing in society. We lack liberty. We lack happiness. Oh my god, bread and games. Greeks apologize with huge horse. The nation of Greece said sorry to the European Union with a present of an enormous wooden horse. European Union. Wait a minute. Hitler. Hitler with boobs. These ducking savages sacrifice people because they believe their gods told them to. Thank duck I come from a civilized Christian country. It doesn't count. Those heretics deserve it. Why would a fly ever land on this? Mice should be ashamed to get caught in that. Come on, bears. It's so obvious. Wow, the horse archers are retreating. Teenage boys picking what dead nation they will be obsessed with. Rome. The USSR. Can Utah's 250,000 become a state? Shut your Mormon ass up. Can Wyoming be a state? Dear precious. Of course. Italian mafia. US government. Fascist Italy. Sicily. Now we have a common enemy. We have to work together. I have to go. Thanks for the kennel. Wait a minute. A thick German accent. Tail and menacing look. I think I already seen his face when I served in 1944. He is without a doubt just a normal German tourist. 1 week later. Wait a minute. Lenin complaining about how hard life in exile is. His wife and mother working their asses off back home so he could afford to sit around and chat with other exiles in Swiss coffee shops. France when someone mentions World War II resistance. Developing animal husbandry had some unintended side effects. 68% worldwide. 32% worldwide. Hemingway after getting blown up, shooting himself twice, hunting U-boats, surviving 2 plane crashes, and drinking enough to have a cocktail named after him. I didn't hear no bell. Let's go. In and out. 20-minute adventure. Other people. Oh my god, my ancestors were nobles of House Beerbretson. Meanwhile my ancestors. About midnight on the 17th of May, Osbert Lewuel, son of William Crustamus of Gulstow, who was drunk and disgustingly overfed, came from Bedford towards his house. When he arrived at his house he had the falling sickness, fell upon a stone on the right side of his head, breaking the whole of his head, and died by misadventure. Generals who've been fighting nomads since they were kids. They are retreating. Chase them. Alexander the Great, the first time he faced nomads. If they fake a retreat, we shall fake a pursuit. Not an actual quote. Everyone can be redeemed. Hello ma'am. Welcome to the 500 Soviet soldiers. We got this guy surrounded. Simohea his honest reaction. By the way, I got this too. Your strategy was advantageous for me. I can't wait to learn more about post-colonial African history. Random general takes power, becomes a dictator and kills 100,000 people, gets assassinated and replaced by another violent general who kills twice the amount of people. Spain's dictator, Francisco Franco, have returned. I hate you. You killed anarchist Catalonia. Welcome back Cordelo. Viva España. Prussia in media. Prussia in history. Point of view. You are a remotely relevant politician living in Washington DC in 1890. Bully? Shout out to historical figures who actually concealed their leprosy in a badass way. Gotta be one of my favorite genders. What happened to her? She got to the bit where they assassinated Aurelian. Chief, our squad got thrashed again. What? I want the culprit found. It was me, Roger Vandenberg. I need some pikes. For fish hunting, right? Yeez. Actually makes 17th century defense strategy. Like a boss. Pike time. How do I stop nationalist movements from destroying my empire? Google. Bing. Maybe it was unwise to fight for 700 years. Fight for 123 years against Germanization and Russification. You will be subjected to numerous repressions and harassment. You created an entire national martyrdom in the fight for your rights. Congratulations, you have retained your national identity. Become Germanized for 300 years. Recognize that the German language is cringe. Walk from village to village to remember what Czech sounded like. Congratulations, you have retained your national identity. Wars of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth be like. We will fight. For God. For honor. For fatherland. I really hope so, because certainly not for the money. Because we don't have it. Koreans. Japanese. Hating Chinese. Japanese. Chinese. Hating Koreans. Koreans. Chinese. Hating Japanese. Man, I wish I was more like that guy. But he probably wishes he was more like somebody else too. Holy shit, I'm glad I'm me. I'm especially glad I'm not that guy. Oh look. It's a picture I took of you the first time I ever came here. Look at you. So young and happy. Where do the years go? Soldiers today, we gotta wear camo, so enemies don't see us. Soldiers in the 18th century. When a Soviet person visits Le Havre post 1945. France. USSR. Blat. We'll fire up on your ships as revenge for the women you took. Have you seen our new hull decorations, samurai? I love seeing people smile at their phones in public. Have they received happy news? Is it a text from a loved one perhaps? What could be instilling such joy in that moment? Ottoman Safavid War finally ends with the Treaty of Constantinople. We are so advanced. 2000 years ago. I drew Anubis as a jackal-headed man, to represent both his human and animal forms. Don't you worry, it may lead to misunderstanding. No. Why would it? 5,000 years later. He dog man death god. London. 1887. Telly dearest. What's wrong? The ranch has been hit by bad weather. I hope it isn't too serious. Meanwhile, Dakota Territory. Jesus tap. Dancing Christ.